In a city that never truly slept, where lights stayed on longer than dreams, and people spent their lives chasing things they didn't fully understand, there lived a young man named Ryan. From the outside, his life seemed complete, stable, and even admirable. Yet inside him existed a quiet storm that never settled. A constant restlessness that whispered to him day and night that whatever he had was not enough. That somewhere beyond his reach existed something better, something bigger, something more meaningful. This thought slowly shaped his personality, turning his ambition into a silent hunger that refused to be satisfied. Because Ryan had grown up believing that success was not about appreciating what you have, but about constantly reaching for what you don't. Although he had secured a well-paying job in a reputable company, built trust among his colleagues, and created a life that many would consider a dream, he still felt like he was standing still while the world moved ahead of him. Every time he scrolled through success stories, saw people achieving more, earning more, becoming more, a small voice inside him would grow louder, asking him why he was settling, why he was choosing comfort over greatness. Slowly, that voice became stronger than logic, stronger than gratitude, stronger than peace. Until one day, an opportunity arrived that felt like the answer to all his questions. It was a job offer from a high-profile company, promising him not just a higher salary, but a completely different life. One filled with prestige, recognition, and rapid growth. However, hidden beneath the excitement was a condition that could not be ignored. He would have to leave behind everything he had built, his stable job, his secure income, his trusted environment, and step into a world where nothing was guaranteed, where success depended on risk, performance, and uncertainty. While many would have paused, considered, or even rejected such a leap, Ryan saw it as destiny knocking on his door, a chance to finally prove to himself that he was meant for more. Yet not everyone around him shared his excitement. His boss, a man who had spent decades understanding the unpredictable nature of life, called him into his office and spoke words that Ryan did not want to hear. He reminded him that sometimes what we already hold in our hands is far more valuable than distant opportunities that only appear attractive from afar. He explained that security, peace, and stability are often underestimated until they are lost. Ryan politely listened, but internally dismissed the warning, convinced that fear was the only thing holding others back, and that he was different, that he was brave enough to take the leap others were too afraid to take. That night, standing alone on his balcony and looking over the glowing city, he imagined his future. A future where he had everything he ever wanted: respect, wealth, recognition, and a sense of achievement that would finally silence the voice inside him. But just as he was lost in those thoughts, a calm yet unfamiliar voice broke the silence, asking him a simple question: whether he was searching for something he could not yet define. When Ryan turned, he saw an old man standing behind him, dressed simply yet carrying an aura that felt strangely powerful, as if he belonged to a different time, a different understanding of life. Although Ryan was confused, something about the man's presence made him listen. What followed felt less like a conversation and more like a reflection of his own thoughts being spoken aloud. The old man spoke about desire, about the human tendency to overlook what is already present in pursuit of what is uncertain. Then, without warning, the world around Ryan seemed to shift, replaced by a vision so vivid it felt real. In that vision, he saw a bird in a cage, alive, safe, within reach, and beyond it, far into the distance, two birds flying freely, beautiful yet distant, unreachable without risk. The old man explained, in a tone that carried both wisdom and warning, that the bird in the cage represented everything Ryan already possessed: security, peace, and stability, while the birds in the distance symbolized opportunities that looked better simply because they were not yet his. Then he said something that echoed deeply within Ryan's mind. The desire to have more often makes people lose what they already have, and chasing everything can sometimes leave a person with nothing. Although Ryan heard every word, his ambition refused to quiet down, because deep inside he believed he could have both, that he could chase the distant birds without losing the one in his hand. That belief became his decision. Within days, he resigned from his job, stepping into the unknown with confidence, excitement, and a sense of pride that he was finally taking control of his destiny. In the beginning, everything seemed to validate his choice. New environment, new challenges, new people, all giving him the illusion that he had made the right decision. But slowly, almost silently, reality began to reveal itself. The project he had joined started facing complications. Deadlines became unrealistic, expectations became overwhelming, support became limited, and the promises that once felt certain began to fade. Ryan, who once felt in control, now found himself constantly struggling, working longer hours, facing increasing pressure, and losing the very sense of peace he once took for granted. As weeks turned into months, the cracks widened. Financial instability replaced security, stress replaced confidence, and doubt replaced ambition. One day, he found himself sitting alone, exhausted, uncertain, and questioning everything, realizing that in his pursuit of more, he had let go of something real, something stable, something valuable. In that quiet moment, the memory of the old man returned, along with his words, clearer than ever before. For the first time, Ryan truly understood what they meant, that not every opportunity is worth the risk, that not every desire needs to be fulfilled, and that sometimes what we already have is exactly what we need. But understanding comes at a cost, and by the time Ryan realized the truth, he had already lost more than he expected. Yet, even in that loss, there was a lesson, a clarity that he never had before. Slowly, with humility replacing pride, he began rebuilding his life, not chasing everything this time, but valuing what he could hold, what he could protect, what he could truly keep. Although he could not fully return to the life he once had, he found something deeper, something more lasting, a sense of balance, a sense of awareness, a sense of peace that did not come from having more, but from understanding enough. From that day forward, whenever he faced a decision, he no longer asked himself what he could gain, but what he might lose. And in that simple shift, his life changed. Because he had finally learned what many spend their entire lives trying to understand, that sometimes the greatest wisdom lies not in chasing everything we see, but in holding on to what we already have. Because in the end, a bird in the hand is not just worth two in the bush. It is worth everything when it represents peace, stability, and the life we are too busy to appreciate.